Good morning, park managers, and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Today I'm going to be making a redwood forest enclosure. Now, something when I've always made redwood forests, I've never actually had them pretty compact. And I was looking at some photos today of some redwood forests, like in the wilder areas, and literally the trees are so close to one another in these photos I've seen, and then the odd sort of like natural kind of like looking path going through it. So I wanted to go for that kind of vibe. And recently I've been playing Ark a little bit and was in the redwood forest bit, and I really do like all the rockery in there. So I really wanted to make this sort of area which I'm making right now over the top with rocks, so it's almost a bit like the waterfall area, even though we don't have waterfalls, but it's that kind of vibe. I used paths so I could easily mark out where I wanted my trees and things like that. Eventually I do go over the paths in a brush and get rid of the actual path, because I remembered at this point I completely forgot if I delete the path it takes some of the trees that are really close to it by. It didn't really affect me too much, but as you can see right now I'm putting these trees so close together, making them compact, only using the two types of redwoods, and you get like a really eerie, spooky vibe from like a side angle. I do leave this little bit open to add like a fallen tree and a little bit of like here and there like foliage, and as you can see there I've completely done all the forest. I thought I'd skip that because it would have been a lot of me just placing a lot of trees. On the paths all I'm doing is using this foliage to, like this brush should I say, to put down a load of this down, because it's like it gives you a few ferns, and when you look at like redwoods you see a lot of ferns knocking about, so I wanted those fern plants. There was also a lot of grass which I didn't necessarily really want, but I got the look I wanted in the end with a few different bits of ferns and things like this, and it really did highlight the paths, which I really liked, especially when you see the Utah raptor which I've added to this enclosure. Like I feel like raptors look really nice in this because they can weave and wind through all the dense trees, and honestly making them this compact feels so much better than having them so far apart. And I really enjoyed just watching the Utah raptors hunt goats in there, just wandering around the trees. They look absolutely great in this enclosure. But yeah, I feel like if I was doing this, it is going to have to be for your small dinosaurs. Like I feel anything that was larger than a raptor or an orthomimid would be just too much for this enclosure. I mean the openings are really great, but could you imagine something like Diplodocus trying to like work its way through this dense foliage and all these trees? It would probably get stuck. I also feel like releasing a load of Jaileropterus, so if this was like a wild area in like a site B, that'd be awesome. So I'd love to see in Jurassic World Evolution 3 as well with these trees. Imagine like pterosaurs, just like the smaller types like Dimorphodon and things like this, crawling up the trees to then just jump off them and glide and go back into flight, which would be absolutely so cool to see. As you can probably tell, I really did enjoy making this enclosure, and I'm very happy with the way it looks as well. Also, you could do this in different shapes to help it blend a little bit better into your zoos. If you're on this kind of environment anyways, you could build a whole park through this. I don't know how computers or Xboxes would actually manage with this amount of trees, especially if you do like a whole map size. Maybe something I might actually test in the future, but honestly it took so long. Even this is like a 4x4 cube, and it took absolutely ages to get all these trees into this enclosure, and I even put a lake in the middle to try and like fill it out a bit so I wasn't placing too many trees. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope it's given you some inspiration. Until next time, I'll see you later.